All right. All right. Good morning, teachers and students. Today we have Mr. Jorge Contreras. He's an outreach counselor from Cal State Fullerton. Mr. Contreras will be going over possible alternative ways on how to reach a Cal State, the Cal State Fullerton or any of the other Cal States out there. And so go ahead, Mr. Contreras. Go ahead and yeah, it's all yours.
Awesome. Thank you, David. But yes, my apologies, by the way, real quick. I know I'm talking on one screen and then I have the video on another screen. My laptop has been having some issues with my microphone. I even took it in to get it fixed. So if you guys want, you can pin the actual video and pin that. So I'm using my phone for the microphone and my laptop for that. But anyways, my apologies on that, but yeah, excited to be presenting to you guys. My name is Jorge. I'm an outreach counselor at Cal State Fullerton. I'm also a transfer student, so we call that non-traditional. So I didn't go straight out of high school into a 4-year. I went to community college first, but I'm an alumni at Cal State Fullerton, and I'm a current grad student. So I did do my undergrad in communications and do my master's right now in cultural anthropology. So, but anyways, my presentation is going to be mainly about the whole Cal State system. So I will be talking a bit about different Cal States, but also how to get into a Cal State and stuff. And obviously you guys are going to be probably taking the route I took, which will be going through community college first and then transferring, which is, it's still a big portion of a lot of students that end up doing that and stuff. And so, yeah, so anyways, happy to present to you guys. So let me just share my screen real quick and we'll get started. So, okay, perfect. All right. Okay, let's see. Do you guys see that? Is everything good on that end?
Yes, we definitely see it.
Okay, perfect. So it's I don't really use Meetup Teams too much for presentations. So let me just exit this little guy. Okay. All right. So anyways, yeah. One thing about the Cal State system, y'all, it is definitely one of the largest 4-year public university in the US, and I think known as to be one of the most diverse as well. And you can see it on the right there. There is a lot of different Cal States to choose from, all through California and stuff. And so we are, like I mentioned, a public 4-year university system. This is where you can get your bachelor's degree, your master's, your doctorate, certain credentials as well. So, or some certificate programs. So, but anyways, so you guys are actually right here, right in Orange County. I think you can see my arrow. So little right here, Orange County, but you can see there is a ton of different Cal States to choose from, okay? So you guys are actually in a very populated area. Obviously there's LA and there's Orange County and there's everything else around this area. So with that in mind, you guys do have a lot to choose from. So what I like to do in this presentation is to let you guys know that hey, even though there's a bunch of different Cal States, some are very unique, some are very specific, some have really unique majors that can really determine on what y'all are looking for, what you guys really preferred, or what you guys kind of need in your education. All of these Cal States are great. All of them, you can get a really great education and you just go from there, but some of them do specialize in certain things than others, right? So for example, okay, so we're obviously in Orange County. Surprisingly enough, there's only one Cal State in Orange County, which is the one that I work at and the one I go to, which is Cal State Fullerton. And I will be a little bit biased just because not only I went to this school, but I know more about Cal State Fullerton. So, but yeah, one thing about Cal State Fullerton, we're actually considered the largest Cal State. So I know most of y'all are, planning to go to Fullerton College and hopefully transfer. So if you transfer to Cal State Fullerton, you're actually going into one of the most popular, or no, if anything, the populous Cal State out of all 22 campuses. But again, as great and popular as we are, and we do have some great majors I'm going to mention, we are not everything for everyone. Okay, there is some Cal States that are very good in some ways, and this is a point where no matter where you guys are at in your life, the minute you start thinking about going to like college or specifically a 4-year university, you want to be a little bit picky or really look into it and take your time on deciding, because you want to choose something that has more ideal resources and opportunities for you for what you're doing, right? So for example, Fullerton, we're known not just for our sports teams. We have 18 D1 sports team. We are known for our business program. We're considered the largest business school in the West Coast, third in the nation. We're an accredited business institution. So like, hey, all these Cal States have business administration and they're great programs, but we not only have a huge, large program, we have tons of resources, opportunities for business students. We have like 20 concentrations just in business. So like business is a big one, but not just business, surprisingly, even animation. But that's because why? What's around us? What is Orange County known for? You know, it's not just the oranges, right? It used to be known for that. One thing is Disneyland. It's a huge tourist attraction. So we actually have great partnership with Disney. So not only do a lot of like students end up, working with Disney, Disney has a partnership with us. So if say your parents have a job with Disney or you end up getting a job with Disney, it could be any position. They have a program called Disney Aspire that can help pay for your tuition on our campus, right? So that's one thing too. Some Cal States specialize in their surroundings and what they're known for. And they have great partnership, right? So for another example, Sacramento, right? Way up here, Sacramento, that is what? Our capital. And what is the capital to California or to any state? That's usually where a lot of our lawmakers are at, right? That's where like our main governor and everything is at. So Sacramento, they're a great school for many programs, but they have great connections to our politicians, to our lawmakers, like maybe if you're thinking about doing like going to law school, or if you want to get involved in politics, like Sacramento, it's because it's their environment. They have really special connections towards with our politicians, right? Another example would be like Monterey Bay. If you don't see it, it's right here in the middle. And if you didn't know about Monterey Bay, even though like San Francisco Bay is really beautiful, Monterey Bay is actually known for their highly diverse biolife diversity in that bay. So they have a really beautiful aquarium. So Monterey Bay is actually a very small campus. They're the closest Cal State to the ocean, to the beach. You can literally just walk there, look at it, outside your windows. But they have a really great oceanography and marine science program. So if you're someone that wants to do marine biology, like start learning how to scuba dive, how to like get really involved in the ocean studies and all that science, like Monterey Bay has great programs in that. Like Fullerton, yeah, we have marine biology. Long Beach for sure does. We'll make you like still take scuba diving courses. But Monterey Bay is known for that, and they have a really great bay because that's their environment, right? So another example, LA, Cal State LA. LA is known for two things. Not only their really large unified school district, but also their police department and their investigation. It's a huge campus. I mean, it's a huge county and city. So they actually have a really good, not just criminal justice program, forensics criminology, if you want to do all that, like, deep dive into like, I guess like murder cases and all that, like investigating certain crime scenes, like forensics criminology, like Cal State LA has a really great program for that. But they also have a really great teaching program. If you want to decide to become a teacher, that's something you feel like you want to do. Like Cal State LA has certain things in that way. So another one, for example, Northridge. Not a lot of people know this, but Northridge is right here. It's actually like pretty much like North Hollywood and not far from Hollywood itself. So, and Hollywood's what? It's known for their movies, their stars. So Cal State Northridge, I actually almost went there for my communications undergrad, but decided not to. But they actually have a really good cinema television arts program because a lot of their professors are really well connected to the film industry. So that's actually their only program that's really impacted, as in like it's not the easiest to get into. because a lot of students kind of know, like, hey, they got good connections in their environment. What do they specialize in? While they're near Hollywood, a lot of their professors have good connections with the film industry and stuff. So Northridge has a specialized program in that. So point is, there is a lot to choose from. It's really about getting to know, what Cal State specializes in certain programs and see what's out there for you, If you know what you want to do, awesome. If you don't know what you want to do and you just decide like, I just want to go to college because like I just want to do something, I want to learn something, I want to like get myself involved, get a degree so I get a decent job. That's okay. You don't have to know. You can always, especially if you go to community college, like that's a great opportunity to just explore different majors and kind of like see what I guess calls to you, and then you just decide to pursue that and stuff. And then, yeah, talk to your counselors, community colleges. They really know and they really help out with that. So, but hey, other things too, if you don't know what you want to major and you just kind of open to go anywhere, then maybe decide on other preferences. Like, hey, you want to get out of Southern California, go to the Bay Area, like East Bay, San Francisco Bay is really beautiful campus, San Jose, they're not hard to get into as well. But hey, you want to get away from all the concrete, like check out Chico State or Humboldt, Cal Poly Humboldt. Really beautiful. Anything like this is like the true Northern California, not the Bay. Sorry for anyone that disagrees, but this is a true Northern California. It's like a different state. It's super green, a lot of forests, redwoods. Humboldt is like their backyard is pretty much a redwood forest, and you're walking distance from the coast. So, and they have really special like environmental studies, and a lot of other unique programs. I would say if no one really knew. Humboldt up here, Humboldt County, I believe Trinity and Mendocino, there is something that is called the Emerald Triangle, which is known for one thing, and that was their huge cannabis industry. So a lot of cannabis has been grown up here. So Cal Poly Humboldt, hey, this is a huge economy. We're a state that has legalized it. It's a huge business. So they have a special program on cannabis business. Or I believe it's cannabis business or cannabis law. But that is a program because that's something that their environment specialized in, and they take that and they like, in a sense, work with it. So point being, hey, take your time, look around you. Every Cal State is very unique. You'll have some time in your life, but like take, once that time comes for you guys to like transfer somewhere, like try to take your time and like ask around and do some research and stuff and see what really fits you. So anyways, a little bit about the Cal State system too. This something they'd like to share is like, hey, we're a Cal State that really is committed to our Californians. Like most students that go to Cal State, it's usually Californians. We do get a lot of out of states folks, but we're a huge public university. Like I'm telling you, like I think over 490,000, close to 500,000 students are enrolled at the Cal State system. So it's a huge system and stuff. So anyways, okay. So what can you study at a Cal State? Well, hey, you can study almost anything. This is a very small list of like majors you can study, but we do have over 4,000 different majors to choose from. So, and you can think of anything. And again, if you don't know what you want to do, like explore, like see what really calls to you. Whether it's cybersecurity, you want to learn how to fly an airplane, you could do aviation, like San Jose State, they have an airport on campus. If you're someone who has like, maybe like a niche for design, interior design, you want to like really like work on like designing, even architectural design, like Cal Poly Pomona has really good programs in that way. Medical field, I know a lot of students end up wanting to just do like, I just want to get my radio tech. I just want to get my, ultrasound tech certificate. That's great. But I'll be honest with you, do that. But I know it's as of now, it has become a flooded industry where my niece who got her ultrasound tech, it was really hard for her to find a job. She had to go all the way to Glendale just to get something, but she still continued her education and she got her bachelor's in ultrasound so she can have better opportunities. So, because usually if you do like a tech, you just have to go to community college. You don't have to go to a 4-year. But if you go to a 4-year, you can study biological science, you could do nursing. This will open up to, especially if you do biological science, it opens up to the whole medical field. Like, you don't have to stop at just being a technician, or an assistant. Like, you could be the dentist, you could be the actual radiologist. Like, don't ever limit yourself, where you're at now. Like, I'm gonna tell you guys a little bit about my story, but like, there's a lot to choose from. So please, like, really take your time and just find yourself and find what you really like and your niche and stuff. So it's my little 2 cents on that. But anyways, I'll skip over this. Well, actually, no. If you ever want to know, hey, which Cal State has certain majors, if you go to their website, like calstate.edu/degrees, they have a whole system where you can like filter out, like, hey, who has criminal or forensics criminology, who has psychology and clinical psychology, like who has a good nursing program, and it will literally break it down for you. I'm like, well, all these Cal States have it, these don't have it. So, we make it kind of easier because, again, not every Cal State has every major. Not, some have very unique major. Like, I get students who are like, hey, I want to design video games. Like, I don't want to animate them, I want to actually design them. Well, there's only a couple Cal States that do have it. One of them is actually Chico State. They have a whole video game design program. But anyway, so you can like look through that, and it'll help you out on the website. So okay, so another thing too, so if you guys didn't know, maybe the Cal State's kind of new, we were a Cal State system of 23 campuses. Now we are a Cal State system of 22 because we decided to merge Cal Poly Maritime Academy with Cal Poly, Maritime Academy with Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. So if you ever apply for Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, you'll get the option for Maritime Academy. But I do want to highlight this because Maritime Academy is a very unique campus. It used to be, I believe, a military training like base, I believe a Navy one. So they actually still specialize in those elements. And hey, if you're someone that doesn't want to like get their master's, go super far into education, but get a really good paying job, like say you kind of like engineering, maybe you like you want to sell the ships, you want to like explore in the oceans, you want to be gone for some time and get paid a lot of money, then you will probably be very interested in Maritime Academy because they are considered some of the, if not the most, they're one of the most highest paying jobs Cal State students get after graduating and stuff, because you usually end up getting like contracted by the military. You don't actually work for the military, but you get contracted, you get a lot of other pay, like danger pay, all this stuff. You're gone for months, but you're selling the seas for whatever it is. You can do engineering technology where you're maintaining the ships, marine engineering technology, marine transportation. Maybe you just want to learn how to ride a huge cargo ship. Like California is known for their ports. Like San Pedro is a huge port. We input a lot of a lot of whatever it is, things, Amazon, all that stuff. Like we take in a lot of things. We do a lot of imports. So you could be one of those person riding those ships, just bringing it in from, one side of the world to back over here, and you would get paid a lot of money. So and it's not that hard, but I would say this school is very unique because they still specialize in some of their military like culture. So if you are in the Cal Maritime Academy, you'll probably have some uniforms. You might have to wake up at certain times. Like I think you get to live on campus and stuff. Anyways, it's a really cool campus. And it's especially if you like that, like say you've been falling in love with One Piece, you want to go sell the seas, then maybe look into Maritime Academy. You can be one of those and stuff. So okay. So one thing I do want to mention too, real quick, because I don't really want to talk too much on the eligibility, because I know you guys are coming from continuation school, and in that case, it's going to be ideally just go to community college and transfer out. Which I do want to say, hey, some Cal States are what's considered impacted, some are not. It's pretty much saying, hey, some Cal States are a little bit easier to get into, and some are a little bit hard to get into. And that just means, hey, they're a little bit popular and stuff. So a little side note on that. These are the campuses that are considered impacted, like Fullerton, Long Beach, San Diego State, San Jose, Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, Cal Poly Pomona, right? Some of the most popular Cal States, but surprisingly enough, even though they're impacted, transferring to any of these are a lot easier than if you're a first year coming straight out of high school. So, say for me, I didn't do the greatest in high school. Okay, I did like the bare minimum, like just to get my degree, or graduate and get my high school diploma. Sorry, not my degree, my high school diploma. So I feel like I definitely wouldn't have gotten into any of these Cal States if I applied right after high school. I actually did not go straight to school right after high school. I wanted to work for a bit. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. And I was that student in high school that just like, I'm not really interested in this. I have a hard time paying attention. I still kind of do, but I've been trying. And I really wanted to just study things I was very interested in. And so, straight out of high school, I kind of worked for a bit. I went to a trade school for a little bit. It wasn't really my cup of tea. And then I decided, like, you know what? I'm going to go to school. I'm going to see what I can do. And I went to Pasadena City College because I lived in LA County. And I transferred to Cal State Fullerton. And the minute I did go to Cal State, okay, so one thing I want to tell you guys too, when you go to a community college, you pretty much have a brand new record. Whatever, the only thing they care about when you go to community college is that you got either your GED or your high school diploma, right? You can fail courses at community college. It doesn't really impact you that much, but you don't want to do that. You don't want to waste your money. You don't want to waste your financial aid. You want to like actually, you know, do your best in community college just to get that out of the way. But you have a brand new record. So when you transfer to a Cal State, to a UC, to a private, they don't, well, maybe privates, but Cal States or UCs, they don't look at your high school stuff. They only really care about how well did you do at community college because now you're a transfer student. So kind of keep that in mind. Where you're at now, it's not going to define you where you're going to be in the next 5-10 years. Okay. So kind of just remember that. So anyways, so going back to non-impacted campuses, these are campuses that if you meet the minimum requirement, you can get in. So if you're transferring, I believe if you transfer with at least a 2.0 GPA, from community college, like you will automatically get into these Cal States and stuff. And that's most of Cal States. So we like to highlight that because it's really saying that like we're not that hard to get into. You just got to try a little bit, and especially if you go to community college, like you have all the room to try and do your best and like, make a better create a better record for yourself and obviously if you go to community college, you can more focus on courses that you are actually interested in learning and stuff. So, but yeah, this is a huge list of non-impacted campuses. Whether it's like Fresno State, Cal Poly Humboldt, Cal State LA, Maritime Academy, San Francisco State, even Northridge is there and stuff. So a lot of these campuses, if you meet the minimum requirements, you'll get in it. If you're looking at the impacted campuses, the minimum requirement may not get you in, so you got to do a little bit more, but usually it's not the hardest. Like, trust me, I got into Cal State Fullerton. Obviously, I did way better in community college than I did in high school, but I wasn't like an A student, but I did enough to just be good enough to transfer and stuff. So anyways, okay. So talking about transferring, so one thing that the Cal State system does have, and you don't have to take this route, like I didn't know about this when I was transferring, but I wish I did because it is a nice program that does guarantee you to transfer into a Cal State of your choice. So the transfer success pathway is run by the Cal State system, and it is a program that allows students to enter into an agreement with the CSU campus that guarantees admissions for a future term, right? All you need to do is pretty much, or to be eligible, is that you're planning to get into a California community college, but you haven't earned any college credit since completing high school. You can do summer courses, a summer college course right after high school. That's okay. You can do dual enrollment. That's okay. But if you want to do the transfer success pathway, don't actually start the community college semester um, until you apply for transfer success pathway, because we don't want you gaining any credit yet and like, hey, let me actually do this. Like, no, you got to be freshly pretty much straight out of high school and stuff, or after you get your GED. But what you do is that you complete the questionnaire on the transfer planner, which you will see on the right side right there. You just kind of follow that link and everything, and you create an account and you review the agreement, you select and confirm the agreement, and you provide the California college that you're interested in going into so you can transfer into it, right? And there is a certain cycle. You want to do this between August and October 31st, okay? That's when you do the agreement and stuff and sign via the transfer planner. But do know all Cal States do participate in the TSP program, but not all programs will be open to this TSP agreement. So, for example, if you guys want to know which is the hardest Cal State to get into, it is actually San Diego State, because their average, at least for like incoming freshmen straight out of high school, their average is like a 4.0. It doesn't mean their school is really awesome. Like, it is a good school, but it's just also they're a small school and they're in a huge city, and there's not that many Cal States down there. So they're very impacted. So say if you want to really get into San Diego State for whatever reason, they will have some majors that the TSP program could get you a guarantee agreement to transfer, but some of their programs, they won't have it in the TSP program. Whether say it's like maybe the nursing program, like you might not find a nursing program in the transfer success pathway program, just because nursing is very impacted across the board. Just a little side note. Anyways, so I hope that makes sense for you guys. Please feel free to, if anyone's have any questions, like just raise your hand or something. I think you can do that on here, or just wait till the end of my presentations and I'll answer any questions. But anyways, so on that note, so you want to then first create a transfer planner, okay? But you can do this whether you want to do the TSP pathway or not. But because it's an online tool that designed to help California community college students plan their transfer to a Cal State CSU campus. And it does provide a step-by-step guidance to ensure that students meet all the necessary requirements for transferring, okay? So whether you're doing the program, the TSP program or not, it's a very helpful tool. But that is how you get into the TSP program, is create a transfer planner account and stuff. And yeah. And okay, so then we kind of go to other things. So some students are always worried, like, you guys kind of hear that that whole thought on like, school is really expensive. I don't want to be, in extreme debt, like how you hear some stories like 100K debt, 200K debt. It is true. Like, there is some really big schools or some students that do come up with a lot of debt, but you don't actually see that at a Cal State level, because Cal States are considered one of the most affordable. Yeah.
Sorry, hey, Mr. Contreras, just give you a heads up. We have about 3 to 4 minutes left before the period is over.
Oh, okay. My bad. I
Yeah,
didn't know how long
we're
it was
a
gonna take.
short day today. Sorry about that, sir.
No, you're totally fine. So, if anything, then let me just kind of end it there. Um, real quick, if any seniors do want to apply to a Cal State, I would say do follow the dateline, because this is for like if you're straight out of high school, if you want to be a first year, but follow the dateline for the transfer success pathway, which it will be August 1st. Okay. So honestly, this would be a good program to start off with, because they will guide you and help you guys out on all of that. So anyways, okay, I'll stop sharing because I do want to see if I can answer any questions or anything that folks might have and stuff. So
Yeah, no worries. And see, any teachers out there? Does anybody have any questions? Oh, perfect. Yeah, for Ms. Gibson. So how should juniors prepare in their junior year?
ooh, okay. How should juniors prepare into junior year? It kind of depends, because like if you guys are thinking about going to community college first, my thought would just be like, hey, like just start looking into the Cal States or the UCs that you're interested in, like trying to figure that part out. Because at community college, there is a lot of resources, but it's also a great opportunity to explore different majors and stuff. So my advice would be like, hey, juniors, start kind of like doing some personal research. Like, I mean, if you know what you maybe want to do, like, hey, I want to be an event planner, like a wedding planner, you know, or something like that. Well, what degree do I get? What do I have to do? Use ChatGPT, Google it, like figure out like, hey, what degrees can I get to be an event planner? Hey, I want to be a video game designer. What degrees are there? Like start doing your own little research and then start looking at at certain local community colleges. And a little side note as well, if you guys go to Orange County Community College, there's a lot of like agreements. We call them MOUs, and a lot of like partnership that Cal State Fullerton does have with Orange County Community Colleges. So it makes it so much easier to transfer to our campus, you know. But a little side note and stuff on that. But
Perfect.
yeah,
Well,
that'll be my two
well,
cents.
yeah, no, well, definitely. We appreciate your time today, Mr. Contreras, and giving us an insight. Very useful information. We may have to book a second session here, to continue
Yeah,
providing additional more info. Aside from
yeah,
that,
for sure.
we'll share any information with our students. And once again, thank you for presenting today.
Of course. Thank you guys. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, David. And yeah,